Okay. So in the last session, we have seen about the second part of self joins, right? So how to use self joins to work with the two different columns. And also we have completed discussing about how to join more than two tables and the the chaining join concepts, right? Yes. Okay. Today we are supposed to discuss about the topic called how to avoid duplicates, how to keep the table data very much accurate, how to maintain the data integrity, things like that. Like for example, let us say that you have a form, you have the form like a registration form. The name of the form is registration form. Registration. Okay, in the registration form, you are, you know, you want to create your user ID and you want to create your password. You want to confirm your password. So there are three fields. One is what you need to create your username, you need to create your password, you need to confirm your password, right? So this is the registration form from the front end, and you can enter the data on the respective fields. This data will be saved in the database. For example, let us say that the database is Oracle database, and you have what you have the table. For each and every field, okay, there will be a column. For each and every field, there is going to be a column. Okay. Since you are dealing with three fields, okay, there will be three columns. Okay, and you are using Oracle database, right? That is the right. And the name of the table itself is what registration table. Right? Let us say that you are entering the name as user name as XXX, right? And you are entering password as let us say it is going to be like 123, and the confirm password is also going to be like 123. So this information somehow is mapped to the database table, right? It is going to get stored under under the username. So there is the column name called username. Under the username, you are storing XXX. Under the password, you are storing what 123. Okay. Under the confirm password, okay, you are storing what you are storing 123. So a kind of validation will be occurring. Somehow a kind of validation will be occurring. So the data gets stored in the table, right? So this is how the data is going to get stored in the table. Password, confirm password. Okay, and there will be a validation for this password and the confirm password. If two data is matching, okay, then the username will be stored in the registration table. But there is a problem here. You are not maintaining some validations. For example, let us say that one more user is coming. Okay, let us say that there is a submit button also. Okay, one more user is coming and he is also entering the same name, same username like XX. In every registration form, if you take any online registration form, there should always be the unique username. Username should always be unique, but the password can be same, no issues. Two persons can have the same password, but two persons cannot have the same user ID. So that is how you can design any registration form. Let us say that the second person is also entering the username as XXX. You're not placing any validation, okay? This is going to get stored in the database table like XXX. And if you see, there is a duplication. You should ensure that the username column should be allowing what? The username column should be allowing only the unique details. Unique details. Should not allow duplicates. Because what happens if it is allowing duplicates? More than one person can have the same username, at the time of login, okay, after registration, okay, registration is successful, okay, after the registration, the user may be login, right? So you will be going to use the a different form called the login form. Okay, login form will ask what? It is going to ask the username information and the password information, right? So the username information, there is a password information. Okay? So the person may be entering username as XXX and the password is what? 123. Okay. So it has to get this detail should get validated in the database, right? At the time of validation, it is not sure which user name the login form is referring to. So there are two users, okay, whose name is similar, XXX and XXX. So which username the end user is referring to, it is not sure. So there will be an ambiguous situation. Okay, it is the top priority that the username, we should ensure that the usernames are going to be unique. There should not be any duplicates. There should not be any duplicates. Right? How to handle this kind of scenario? Sometimes what happens, sometimes so we have to take this kind of scenario one where we are supposed to maintain what? Maintain the unique user IDs. How we are going to take care of this? The second scenario should be like, if, for example, there is another, let us say that there is another registration form. Okay, this registration form has, only one, only one field. It is accepting only one field. It is user ID, and there is a submit button. That is what? There is a submit button. This registration form is specially designed to accept only one user ID. The moment you give the valid user ID, right, and if you click on the submit button, okay, the validation will happen in the database table. The validation will happen in the database table. Or else let us say that the user is trying to register his username or the user ID. The user is just trying to register his user ID. So this the equivalent table is going to be, let us say that this is also a registration form. The equivalent table is going to be something like there will be only one column because you are using what? You are using only one field in the front end. So there will be only one column. So this is the user ID column. Okay. So without entering any data, or keeping the fields as empty, or by keeping these fields as empty, the user can hit on submit button. If is hitting the submit button, definitely since you are not passing any value, okay, so the null value is going to be stored. And again another user is coming and hitting on the submit button, okay, the null value is going to get stored. Again another user is going to get hit the submit button, the null value is going to get stored. Okay, again another user is hitting the submit button by entering some data. This time he is saying XXX, right? So the last time it is going to be XXX. Right? And also you should ensure that, okay, there are no users who is, at least there should be some data that should be entered by the end user. It is not supposed to be null. You should take care of these things also. You should validate these things in the database. It is like your database should not accept, okay, your database column, your particular database column, your particular column in the database. Column in the database should not accept null values. So how we are going to design such kind of columns? Scenario 2. This is what scenario 2, where your column, particular column is not supposed to accept what? Accept the null values. Scenario 2. Okay. This kind of things also you need to take care. How we are supposed to take care of this kind of things as well? Second question. Right? The third one is, so there will be, some cases, for example, let us say that, let us take the same table, scenario 1 table. Okay, if you are entering a duplicate username, XXX, right? It is not supposed to. This data should not be. There should be a way that this data is not getting stored in the database. The table should throw an exception. that this data cannot be accepted, right? So what we are actually taking care of this. So this can be achieved by taking the column. By taking the column as what? There is a topic called primary key topic keys. We will understand that. That is what we are trying to understand. There is a concept called primary key. You will apply the primary key constraint on the particular column so that okay duplicates will be avoided. Duplicates cannot be allowed. Whenever the end user is trying to enter anything, any duplicate what we call it as any duplicate value, end user will has to get a message like okay you cannot enter this value because you can select another username. The username that you are entering as is already existed. Okay, so these kind of things we need to take care. So I'm talking about the things which is specially called as what? The data integrity things. So these are called as what? The actual data integrity. Data integrity. What is data integrity? Okay, data integrity is what? It is the process to maintain the accurate and consistent data in the database table. Okay, whatever the data that you are going to deal with. For example, guys, let us say that I have a list of data like this. Okay, I have something like 100, 150, again 100, again 150, again 200, again 200, again 200. Okay, and again I have none. Right, if I have a column, okay, I every column is going to have some name. Let me take this name as what? Let me take this name as something like numbers. Okay, I can force some restrictions to my column. My column is going to be designed in such a way that the numbers column will not accept duplicates. Okay, the numbers columns will not accept the null values. Okay, my column is designed to maintain the accurate data. Maintain what? It is designed to maintain the accurate data, very much accurate data, or it is designed to accept the consistent data. It is designed to accept the valid data, right? Okay, if I am passing 100, okay, this is valid. Okay, let me say, okay, if I am passing this 100, okay, it will accept. If I am passing 150, it will accept. If I am passing null, I should not accept. Should not accept. Okay, I'm not supposed to, for example, that should be a restriction. It should not accept. Okay, again if I'm passing 100, since 100 is already available, it should not accept. Okay, again I'm passing 150, it is already available, it should not accept. Again I'm passing 200, not available, it should accept. Okay, so this should not accept, again this should not be accepted. Okay, so this data is what is violating the data accuracy. Okay, it is not maintaining the data accuracy. The data is not consistent. I need to eliminate such data in my database, right? I need to eliminate such kind of data in my database, right? So we need to follow what? Data integrity. Again, this data integrity is classified into two types. First one is you have something like the declarative data integrity. Declarative data integrity. Okay, this can be implemented. Okay, please be informed that the declarative data integrity can be achieved by using constraints. Okay, this is part of what? This is part of SQL, Oracle SQL. It can be achieved by using, there is a concept called constraint, which is part of what? Which is part of Oracle SQL. Okay, The second one is you have something like the procedural data integrity. Okay. So the procedural data integrity can be achieved by using, there is a concept called triggers. Triggers. So triggers, they are the concept in PLSQL, advanced SQL. So we are going to understand what are these constraints and what are these triggers. Okay. We are going to understand what first of all let us understand what are these constraints. So what is a constraint? Constraint. Okay. Constraints are used to, actually they are used to validate the database. So what kind of validation? They will do some restrictions, to store data into the table. Okay? And there are many types of constraints. Each and every constraint will play a key role to maintain the data integrity. So they are going to place some kind of restrictions like only so and so data can be allowed. Okay, only this kind of data can be allowed. Okay, duplicates cannot be allowed. Okay, sometimes duplicates can be allowed, null values cannot be allowed. Some kind of restrictions are there. It's going to place some restrictions. What kind of restrictions? Okay, what actually they are used to what? They are used to restrict or enforce unwanted data. Unwanted data. So when I say unwanted data, it is nothing but the data that is what? Invalid data into the table. They are There are 6 types of constraints. The first one is there is something like the unique constraints is here. Unique. And the second one is you have what? You have the constraints like not null. The third one is you have constraints like check. Fourth one is the primary key. Fifth one is the foreign key. And sixth one is we have what? The default constant. One is what? The default constant. So let us understand about each and every constant in detail. First one is what? The unique constant. Okay. And again, okay, so there is further categorization. If you take any databases, okay, all databases are going to support the following constants, following levels, following 2 levels. Okay. And you have something like the column level constant. Column level constant. Okay, let me put this here. Okay. So what is the column level constant? So in this level, constraints can be defined on each and every column. So in your database, you may be having many number of columns. You want to apply columns on each and every column, the column level wise, right? you want to apply constraints on each and every column, you can go for what? You can go for the column level constraint. Okay? You can apply the constraints on each and every individual column level, right? So I can say that, okay, in this level, okay, in this level, constraint and be defined on each column wise. Okay. The syntax is going to be like this. At the time of creating the table, you need to define what? You need to define the constants. So you usually create a table. So while create a table, you define what? You define the table name. So there is a table name at the time of creating the table, right? After the table name, you declare what? You declare the column name, right? There will be column name one, okay? Followed by, for each and every column, you define the data type. Okay. So next to the data type, obviously you will also define what? You will also define the size of the data type. If your data type is accepting any kind of size, you will declare the size also. You will define the size also. After this, you will define what? You will define the constraint. 1 minute question. After this, you will define what? You will define the constraint name. Constraint. The name of the constraint. Okay. So like this, you can create n number of columns. So column name 1 followed by the column name 2. Okay. Like this, you can define what? You can define the n number of columns. It keeps going like that. Right? So there is another level. There is another level which is called as what? The table level constant. Second one. Second one. Table level. So this is completely opposite to the column level constraint. Okay, I can say that in this constraint, you can define here a constraint defined after all columns are declared in the table. End of the column definition. So we know how to create a table. The syntax looks like this. We actually know how to create a table. Okay, table creation is like, so create table. So you have what? You have the table name, column name 1, okay, followed by the data type, followed by the size. This is the size. Likewise, you have, firstly you will declare the column names. Firstly, you keep declaring the column names. The column name to data type size. You don't declare the constants next to the column names. Okay. keep defining or you keep declaring the column names, and at the last, okay, you will declare what? You will declare the constraint. Okay. Okay. So on which columns you want to define the constraints, you will specify that over here. But there is a lot of difference between the table level constraint and the column level constraint. So at the last, you will use the on which columns you want to apply the constraint. On which columns you actually want to apply what? You actually want to apply the constraint. You will define that columns here. Okay. Here you are actually in the column. Not next to each and every column, but at the last you will take the constraint name and you will use on which columns combinedly you want to declare the constraint name. So with the example, you will understand this thing. Okay, so this is going to create a kind of what the composite key. We will understand this once we understand how we can work on this column level constraint. Right? So firstly, let us try to understand the column level constraint. For this, I want to take the database table. I have already taken the database table, right? So we will try to do what? Okay, we will try to see. Okay, let us see how many tables we have first. Start from. We have so many tables. Test one, test two, test three. My God. Let me delete. Drop table, table one. I'm deleting the table. Okay. Okay, some tables are deleted. So I just want to use the same table name once again. So I have deleted it. Okay, now you see, let me create a table. So create table. So the name of the table is something like I'm taking the table as test one. Okay, now look at the syntax. Syntax says, so we are understanding the column level constraint. So you declare table, use the column name, data type, size, and the constraint name, right? So let me take the column name as something like what kind of column name we will take? We will take simple column. Okay, first column is SNO. Okay, serial number and the data type is integer. Data type is something like I'm taking the data type as integer. I'm taking the constraint as what? Unique constant. Comma, I want to take another column. I want to take another column like something like the name. Okay, name bar cap to of 10. Okay, one table has been created. Now focus here. This is my table. Let me insert values. So I'm inserting values by insert values test one values. Okay, so one comma. I'm giving the name as Suresh. . 。 . 。 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . . 。 . . . 。 . . . . . . . . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 。 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 . 。 . Okay, one row has been inserted successfully. Now look at the second time. I'm taking the value as to, I mean, the serial number as to the name as Ramesh. One row is created. And the third time, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to enter the serial number as one, and the name as what? Name as something like Ganesh. What it says unique constraint, some value it is giving is violated. So why we are getting this kind of error message? And if you look at the table design, I have created my table, I have designed my table in such a way that I have placed some restrictions for my columns. There are some restrictions for my columns. Okay, so this is my table. Okay, this is how I have created the table. So at the time of the table creation, I have mentioned it very clearly that okay, I am using the unique constraint. When I'm using these unique constraints, definitely duplicates cannot be allowed. First, always remember you cannot use the duplicate values. Duplicate values are not allowed. Duplicate values are not allowed in the first case. Okay, and look at the second case. I am able to enter the duplicate values for what? Duplicate values for the second column. So if I want to enter something like the serial number as 6 and the name as Ganesh itself. So I'm entering the Ganesh for the second time. You see, select star from list one. Okay, so you're always able to see the unique values in the serial number, right? But I can able to enter what? I can able to enter the duplicate values for the name column. Okay, for name column is not so. Okay, name column you're able to see the duplicates, but not in the serial number. Why? SNO, you have applied what? You have applied the constraint. What kind of constraint you are applied? At the time of creating the table, you are saying that the constraint is going to be what? Unique. Unique means it is avoiding the duplicates for the serial number. It is ensuring that duplicates are avoided for the serial number. If you violate this, it is throwing a kind of exception. Okay, it says there is an unique constraint exception if you are violate this. If you are doing any kind of violation, so this is the exception that you are getting. This is the exception that you are getting, unique constant violation exception. So we will understand about this exception in detail. For now, you got to know what is unique constant. And again, this unique constant has another behavior. It is going to allow you to what? Enter the null values. For example, okay, if I just want to insert values like I'm not passing any value, inside the inside the serial number. Okay, let me pass the null. Again, I'm passing null. Again, I'm passing null. Okay, now I want to select it. See, it is not allowing the duplicates, but it is allowing me to enter the null value. So by this, I have a conclusion. I have a clear-cut conclusion that my unique constant, the unique constant is something which is what? Which is allowing the null values, but not the duplicates. Making sense? Which is allowing the null values, but not the duplicates. So this is the conclusion that I have. Okay? I can say that unique constant. Unique constant. So we are discussing about the unique constant in the column level unique constant. Okay, one more example I will take. So this time I am applying the unique constraint. Okay, for both the columns. When I say both the columns, let me say something like I want to create a table. This time the name of the table is going to be test2. Test2, and I am taking the unique constraint for what? For two columns. A table has been created. Insert into table. So let me say test2. Okay, let me say 1 comma a. Okay, values now inserts into test2 values. I'm sorry, insert into test2 values. The values are 1 comma a and 2 comma b. Okay, and null comma null. Okay, again I'm entering 2 comma b. Okay, it says unique constant violated. Okay, let it be. Again I'm entering null null. Again I'm entering null null. Again I'm entering null null. Again I'm entering something like 3 comma. Okay, select the star from test2. You see, both the columns is not allowing me to enter the duplicates, but both the columns are allowing me to enter the null values. But I'm able to apply the unique constant on each and every individual column. If I'm violating at least one column, I will get an exception. At least if I violate one column, I'm going to get the exception because my unique constant is working independently on each and every column. We'll check each and every column and we'll try to find if the end user is trying to enter any duplicate. For each and every column it will identify, right? Okay, column level unique constant, it says, okay, it will not allow duplicates, and however null values are. Let us understand the table level unique constant now. Okay, now I want to do the same thing for the table level. Now see the difference between the table level and the column level. Okay, let me clear the screen. Create table. Name of the table is test3. I'm taking. Okay. I'm taking the serial number as the integer type. So I'm taking what? I'm taking the name as varchar 2, right? Okay. I'm taking at last I'm taking the unique constant. Okay. So in my unique constraint, okay, this is a table level unique constraint. So I need to take it at the last. After creating all the columns, I need to take it. I need to apply this constraint at the end of the table creation. Right. After declaring all the columns, I need to create it. Okay. So when I say unique, comma, I want to apply this unique constant on both serial number as well as what the name. There is a major difference between the previous previous unique constant, so which we applied on the column level, and this is getting applied on the table level. There is a lot of difference. The table is created successfully. Okay, now you see, let us insert the values first. Okay? Insert into test3, right? Values. First value I am able to insert something like 1 comma a. So this has been inserted comfortably. Okay. Now the second value I am trying to insert 1 comma b. Now we might be thinking in a different way. So I have just applied the unique constraint, the table level unique constraint on serial number and name. A composite unique constant I have applied. But I am trying to enter a duplicate on the serial number column, but not in the the name column, not in the name column, but in the serial number column. I'm trying to enter the duplicate. Will it be accepted or will it not be accepted? If we say you are able to see the row is created. Row is created. Why it is happening? Let me show this for you. Let's start from test3. Okay. You're able to see serial number and name. Okay, 1111. Sir, you have just mentioned that the duplicates are not allowed, but here you are able to see the duplicates. Why this is happening? Why this is happening? Okay. Now look at the way that I have created the table. Look at the way that I have applied the unique constraint. Look at the way. Okay. Look at the way where the how the table has been designed for the unique constraint. I am talking about this one. I am talking about this part. This part. Okay. I have applied unique constraint. I have used only one unique constraint, which is getting applied on both the columns as a serial number and name. So it will always try to identify the duplicates, the composite duplicate, not the simple duplicate, the composite duplicate. The first value is what? 1A. Right? And the second value is what? 1. It will check the composite duplicate. Okay, by look at this combination. This combination is 1A and this combination is 1B, which is not a duplicate. When it will become a duplicate, when this is going to become a duplicate, when you enter something like 1A again. You enter something like 1A again, this whole combination is going to be a duplicate for this. Now these are identified as a duplicate. Or again, when you repeat 1B, right, the combination, I'm talking about the combination 1B, right, and these two things will be considered as a duplicate. These two things, the combination of the two column the table, these two table level constants 1B, these are considered as what? Duplicate. Composite what we call it as the composite duplicates you are trying to find. Duplicate, not a single value. Composite duplicate means when you identify the duplicate values by combining multiple columns. These are treated as a duplicate. Right? Now let us see. I am applying something like null. For null, there is no issues because unique constants will act on the duplicate because null is. See, let me try. 1 second. I can create null any number of times. So this null again, it is a, you just see it compositely, it will not be treated as a duplicate because by default null is allowed for the unique, but not the actual values. When I say something like okay, 1B is accepting, let me say 1C, 1 comma C. Select star from list. So you are seeing 1A, 1B, gap, null, and you are seeing 1A. Don't go by only one column because when you go by one column, you might be thinking that duplicates are accepted. So this is the table level constraint. So this is the table level constraint. This unique identity, the uniques are considered. Okay, duplicates are considered for by combining these two, by combining the values of these two columns, serial number and the name. If you see the values, if you combine these two, they will not be treated as a duplicate anymore. They will be treated as an unique key. Hey guys, if you want to understand this better, the real-time examples. For now, you will be thinking like where we will be using this kind of situations. Where we will be using this kind of situation. For example, if you see, yeah, right? The vehicle numbers, okay? PN02. So this is the code for Tamil Nadu vehicle number. You can see the registration state. Okay, there are two columns: registration state and the registration number would be something like 802. Some random number I am taking. Okay, so like this, PN02. 8976. Okay, like this, PN02 7637. Okay, if you want, this is fine. Okay, in Tamil Nadu, this is how you will see the registration place on any vehicle. So it's a registration place. We want to identify, we want to store the data all India level, right? So in our state, we have something like AP27. There are high chances that the 4-digit number will end up in a duplicate, something like 802. There are high chances that the 4-digit number will be end up something like this. What 898976. If you apply the unique constant, if you apply the unique constant on the column level, for example, let me take this as a column. Okay, this is what this is the state code. Okay, and this is the registration number column. In these scenarios, you cannot apply the unique constraint on column level. You apply unique constraints on column levels in each and every column. Okay, this will be treated as a duplicate. This will be treated as a duplicate. This will be treated as a duplicates. Okay, it will end up in treating these three values as a duplicate. You cannot apply this on the column level, right? You cannot add the registration code, right? And again, if you see, you cannot add this registration number, because when you go by the column level, these two, and this one are treated as duplicate in the state code, and this one, okay, these two and these two are treated as duplicates. I mean, these two are treated as duplicates. Cannot be added. Only you can add what? You can add the this data, and you can end up in adding only the one data. You will end up in adding only one data. So remaining four rows will not be added, because either the state code is treated as duplicate or the registration number is getting treated as duplicate. In this case, the state code as well as the registration number is getting treated as a duplicate. You cannot go by the column level constant. In this case, you will be go by what? You will be go by the table level constant. Right? If you go by the table level constant, it is going to consider, okay, when you move to start going it by the table level, it is that duplicates are treated by combining the two values together, state code as well as registration number. Okay, is there any duplicate when you just do the composite? When you just identify the duplicate by using the composite constant T10 to H0, not a duplicate. When you combine these two, it is not a duplicate. When you combine these two, it is not a duplicate. Again, when you combine these two, it is not a duplicate. When you combine these two, it is not a duplicate. So here are the cases where you will be using what? The table level constant. You can add what? If you can add any number of columns. If you add one more column, the probability and permutations will be more. There will be more what we call it. You will be getting more combinations. Hope you are able to get this, right? So likewise, you can also do something like this. So you can do something like null, okay, and you can pass no issues. It will not be treated as what? It will not be treated as a duplicate. So one more example would be like this, guys. Okay. For now, keep in mind that unique constraints can be applied in two areas: column level unique constraint, and second one is what? Second one is the table level unique constraint. Second one is what? The table level. I am not giving the definition today. I will give the definition later. Table level unique constraint. Column level, it will be applied on each and every individual column. Table level, it will be applied at the end of the table. After defining all the columns, you can choose on what columns you need to apply this table level unique constant. Right? For example, okay, the Champions Trophy, we used to watch a lot of cricket, right? When you see, okay, there is a match between India and Australia. Okay, there is a match between what? India and Pakistan. There is a match between what? India and South Africa. South Africa. When you go by this order, the duplicates are treated according to the Now in the first column you have the same country as India and India. The second column you have different countries. And again, India cannot play. India cannot play for the second time with Australia. Now this India versus Australia, this is going to get treated as what? This is going to get treated as a duplicate. The first three cases, okay, both the combinations are unique. Both the combinations are unique. Both the combinations are unique. The last case, you have what? You have found the duplicate. This can be achieved by what? Table level unique constraint. Okay, if you apply the column level unique constraint, okay, India can play only with Australia. That's it. They cannot play with Pakistan, cannot play with South Africa, it cannot play with what we call as the remaining countries. You apply the column level. So here are the places where you will be going by with the table level unique constants. Right. So that's all about this unique constraint. So and I know there are next tomorrow there is we will discuss about the not null constraint, right? Not null constraint. After completing this all these constraints, we will we'll start discussing about the PLSQL topic, and there are something like indexes also there, triggers also there. Okay, that we will discuss. These things are very easy to understand because if you know Java, if you know any programming language, okay, these things are very easy to understand.